Hello friends, we're back. It's probably been about a year since I have recorded anything. A lot's happened in the last year, but I decided that I wanted to give myself some goals through the end of this year, and one of which is to get back to posting on YouTube and keeping myself accountable in that way. And to kick that off, I am going to be doing a debt confession. I don't know how I feel about confession, like it's some terrible bad thing. I've been working really hard on removing a lot of the negative association with debt. Obviously, consumer debt is not ideal, but debt happens, and there's no good or bad about it. It's just a matter of what are your goals, and is that debt getting in the way of you achieving those goals? And I won't lie, I would love to reclaim some of this monthly debt service back to something that I actually want to spend my money on. Now, I am taking a more balanced approach this time in paying off debt. I've done the Dave Ramsey thing before and gone gazelle intense, and I did manage to pay off a good sum of debt back in 2020. But I didn't have the same tenacity at saving, and so I landed myself back in some debt because things happened with my house, and then I made other decisions. So first step is to just write out all of my debts as of August 31st, 2022. So that's where I'm starting off from. Again, I'm going to be balancing my my payoff plan with also contributing to my emergency fund at the same time. So right now I have about 10% of my paycheck automatically deposited into a high yield savings account. And so I don't see it, I don't touch it, and that seems to be working very well for me so far. I was using YNAB for a while there, and I still use it in conjunction with a written budget, but I did realize that seeing all that money in there didn't keep me from touching it and repurposing it. And so my goal is to work with what I got and come up with a different plan of action that works for me. So what works for me is writing everything out, using my coloring pencils and my highlighters, and making my budget fun for me, something that engages me every single day, and then celebrating the wins of getting these debts paid down while watching my savings grow. I'm also adding savings funds and sinking funds for holidays and the kids and everything like that. So I'm pretty excited to see those funds grow as well, because the truth is I'm going to spend that money regardless, just because I wish I could throw all of my money at debt. The reality is I'm going to go on the vacation. I'm going to celebrate the holidays. I'm going to celebrate my kids. So plan for it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm planning for it. Now, back to the task at hand. I got this wonderful paper from the Budget Mom. She's got free resources on her website, so I went ahead and just printed this off. So if you need something like this, go ahead and check out her website. So first things first, I'm going to write down all of my debts, and then I'm going to do my priority order. So the first one is going to be my city credit card, and the starting balance for that is $2,180.34. This interest rate is at 17.49%, and our minimum payment is $44. The next one is my Sapphire credit card. This one is up to $3,104.01. Ugh, the interest rate on this one is gross. Okay, 22.24%. Minimum payment is $35. You better believe I will be paying more than that. Next up is my Wells Fargo credit card. This one has a healthy balance on it, $8,127 even. Right now, this is at 0%. It's at 0% until March 2023. I've got a promo on that. The minimum payment for that is $82. Next up is my Discover credit card, and this sucker is at $7,305.35. This one is also at a promo 0% until August 2023, and my minimum payment for that is $147. Next up is my windows. So I just got windows put in on the house, and so I have a 0%, 0 payment, 12-month payoff here on this one. The kicker is it is deferred interest, so the interest is growing on it as we speak. So if I don't pay this off by August 2023, then it'll go up to like 25%, and then it'll go all the way back to the beginning of the loan, so it'll be much bigger. So best believe I'll be taking care of this before August. So my monthly payment is $0 right now. And then I have my car loan. This one is $41,141.90. I have an interest rate of 2.84%, and my, I hate this every month, $647.88. Okay. And last but not least, I have a loan for my AC unit. This one has a balance of $10,202.17. This one is actually 0% for the whole life of the loan. So this one I've been slow rolling. I don't intend on putting a ton of effort towards this one because, as we can see, I've got quite a bit happening in the meantime. So let me just add up these totals. 310401 plus 8127 plus 7305 35923 4114190 10,202.17. Whew. Okay, so if I did that right, that looks like I have a total starting at $81,283.77. Wow. All right. So I know that there's a lot of different ways that people prioritize their debt payoff. There's a snowball method, which would be going from the lowest balance to the highest balance. There's also the avalanche method, which is the highest interest rate down to the lowest interest rate. I am doing something a little custom just because it makes the most sense in my head. And that's what really matters, right? Whatever's going to work for you while you're working it. So the City and the Sapphire, I want to prioritize paying off first, only because, as you can see, these are hitting me with interest if the longer they go. Now, technically, I'm still within my my 1 month from my statement date, so these haven't actually incurred interest yet. So the sooner I can pay them off, the less interest I have to pay if I go beyond that 30-day due date. I typically pay these off in full, but my paychecks have been a little wonky the last like 3 pay periods, and not to mention there was a little bit of YOLO there while I had some downtime. So that's how we ended up here. So first things first is going to be the Citi card, and then the second one is going to be my Sapphire. Next up, I've decided to go ahead and take care of the Wells Fargo credit card. With all of these essentially being equal, this one has the nearest due date for when I start getting interest charged on that, March 2023. So what I would like to do is pay this off as soon as I can before March to reduce my risk of incurring interest on this one. And then next up, I'm still kind of figuring out how I want to do this, but the Windows loan is pretty much higher priority than the Discover credit card because this sucker needs to be gone because of the deferred interest. Now, I do have options because if I pay the Wells Fargo credit card off first, I can do a balance transfer. There's a 3% fee, but I can have a balance transfer at 0% for 15 months. So if I work towards paying this down as low as I can, if I end up hitting August and there's still a balance, I can move it over to Wells Fargo. So that's another reason why I want to free up the Wells Fargo card first because of that good balance transfer option. So technically I'm going to put this one at a 4, and then I'll also work on Discover. The nice thing about the Discover card is it has a higher minimum payment. I think it's like 2% of the balance or something. So this is making some good progress while I'm chugging along through the rest of these. Now this sucker will take me quite a while, but I'm figuring once I plow through all of these, I'll have a lot more money freed up in my monthly budget to start laying down bigger payments on that. Again, this is 0% for the life of the loan, so I just assume that this will be done by the time I'm done aggressively paying that one off. So I'm going to leave that one till last. So let's see here, 6 and 7. So that is my debt payoff plan. So today's the first day of September, and I'm planning on doing my budget, and I will be tracking how much is going towards my savings goals as well as my debt. So I'll keep you posted, but that's the plan for right now. So if you like this, please comment on what you're working on, or if you have any suggestions, and like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.